Hey guys, got another video for you today. As you've just seen in the gameplay, it's the Wither boss fight. So, it's been a long time coming, but I think you guys will enjoy it. And I hope you guys will play it and give me some good feedback on it. So right now, I'm going to be going over the redstone, how the game works, and how everything was placed together, and how everything impacts the game, and just how it all works together nicely. So let's get right to it. First off, pretty basic arena style, just design platform, simple jumps, lava underneath so you can't make any jumping mistakes, but there's smaller jumps to compensate it so you're not likely to always fall off. The arrow targets, pretty straightforward. I decided to put them at this length away because I wanted it to be a more difficult minigame than most of my other stuff because it's the Wither, and I wanted to reflect how difficult it is in the actual game as well. So it's pretty simple like that. Health bar goes down as you saw in the gameplay. So let's get to the actual redstone of the stuff. First off, we have our starting room where we select which game type we want. So just to clarify things, Classic is the only game mode we have right now. I'll be adding in the next three in future updates as time goes on. I'm almost done with the survival game type, so don't worry, that'll be up soon. TNT Tussle and Tower Control will come later. And then, if you guys have any ideas for a map, for a game type that you would like, comment with your ideas, and I might put it in as the final fifth one. So we'll see how that works out. So pretty much what we have here is a selector. Straightforward. So when you press the button, it moves the piston on the other side of that button. And then it also sends a pulse, and all the buttons send the same pulse down here. After a delay, it'll activate all these pistons on this side. So since we pressed the button, the farthest left button, right here, it pushed the piston forward, and then when all of these pistons tried to fire, this one was already pushed forward, so that's why this block was left right there. And that just completed the redstone circuit and switched this one on. And then when you press to actually go into the game, it'll send a short pulse up here and start it. So that's a simple selector. That's pretty much all there is to that. The yellow is the lightning effects, which I didn't show off because they can cause some lag, but they're pretty neat if you have a powerful computer to run it. Alright, now let's get down to the redstone of the thing, or to the deeper redstone of the actual minigame, not just the selector. So let's start off at this part. Now one of the things that people might not know is how to track a player's movement. It's actually really, really simple. So if you notice down here we have these rectangular shapes just with a bunch of redstone on them, but with no obvious inputs. They only seem to have outputs like so. So these are the pads that are going to be activated, and these are the things that will track your movements. Now the way that it actually tracks it is incredibly simple. If you'll see in here, just one layer above, there's a bunch of pressure plates that go directly above the redstone. And then right here, you'll notice we have a dispenser, and all that does is dispense a cave spider. So when the game starts, you'll fall down on the water line, you'll land right there, and then when you land, a cave spider will spawn right here, and it'll aggro on you, so that means it'll just follow you around. So as you're jumping from platform to platform, it will try to follow you as best as it can. So it'll end up walking in this very limited space over to the platform under where you are, since that'll be the closest that it can get to you. And that way, it'll allow the minigame to track your movements and shoot at you accordingly. So that's pretty much how that works. It's fairly simple. The green and red lines are just the outputs of these tracking pads. The red lines are for the TNT cannons, or the back pads, and the green lines are for the fireballs or the front pads. Now, if we follow these under here, oh, and if you're wondering, these white lines are for future minigame types. So, the selector up here, it also sends the, when you press the selector, it sends a piece of sand down here, and that'll just determine the game type that is active. So these lines will come in handy later, but not right now. So if we follow these lines up here, we can see the main bulk of the redstone. It's actually fairly large. But yeah, it's pretty simple once you get down to it. So for our arrow targets, we have the basic flush design that I've showed off in a previous video. If you want to go look at that, I would highly recommend it. These are very, very reliable designs that I made, and I think if you're making a minigame, these are perfect. Alright, moving on from there. So when you hit the arrow target, it sends the output. If you hit any of the arrow targets, actually, it sends an output, a short pulse right here, down this purple line. Now this purple line will go all the way up here to where it'll go across this counter. So it'll activate the counter, it'll go up one by one, and then it'll simply go into this, which separates, or which switches the green blocks for the red blocks. So if we see, hit that, it'll take away the green block and push out the red block. Now, first of all, this is just a simple block swapper, but I don't know what I was thinking, but I made it really, really complicated, and it doesn't reset, so I'm not going to go over that because it's a bad design, but I thought it was pretty cool and I didn't need to change it, so I kept it in anyway. So that's the health and the arrow targets. Let's get into the tracking sensors. We'll start off with the red ones. So each red trackpad goes to its respective TNT cannon. So when you get on the trackpad, it'll send a constant pulse up here. It'll send a constant redstone signal, I should say, up here, which will then send a pulse to to the TNT cannon that it represents. So that'll fire the TNT cannon. If you're paying attention, it's pretty easy to avoid, but it can also be very problematic if you're already on fire, which is highly likely. And then if for some reason you stay on the back trackpad, it'll have a short, it'll just go along this repeater chain for a little while, and then it'll shoot again and repeatedly do that. So there's no way you can stay in the back for the whole time, because it will kill you if you just stay in one spot. That's pretty much the TNT cannons. I've gone over the TNT cannons before in depth in previous videos, so if you want to know how to make these TNT cannons, then you can go look at those. Alright, next part, possibly my favorite part of the minigame. Also very interesting designs and technology going into this, which is the green lines, or the fireball activating lines. So when you step on the green trackpads, it'll send a constant signal up this green line, and what that will do is it will charge up this I guess I'll call it a capacitor. It'll charge up this capacitor, and then once it reaches the end, it'll shoot all at once. Or once you get off the tracking pad, it'll shoot then. So the longer you stay on the tracking pad, the more fireballs will be shot. So it's in your best interest to keep moving around. Now that said, if you keep moving around just between 1 and 2 pressure pads, just to try and get the least amount of fireballs, it'll just add up. And oh, I put fail safes in there. So if you are doing that, then it'll just fire faster from both sides. So that's not very good either. So you need to be moving around, constantly going to different platforms, like the back and the front. You can't just stay on 1 or 2 platforms. Let's show you how this works real quick. So as you can see, it goes, and then it slowly charges up these sand blocks right here. Then when it hits the end, it activates a bud switch, and that'll start off the loop right here. So as long as you're still standing on the same trackpad, it'll continually fire again and again. Then once you exit, it'll stop like that, and they'll all reset. However, if you're getting constantly on and off, so you get off, get back on, see, it'll just start back up halfway, so it'll start even faster, and then it'll go into loop again. So that's pretty much how that works. Simple bud switch at the end here. I don't think I need to explain that very much. So yeah, that's pretty much the minigame right now. Remember, I'll be adding more game types as time goes on. I'm almost done with the survival game type, so you can expect that probably this weekend, if all goes as planned. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the minigame. Please leave any comments or feedback or concerns down below, and I'll see you guys next time.